So, what are your thoughts on children's nutrition? Are your kids carnivores too?
Yeah, our kids are what we would call them ketovore or super carnivores. At least 80% of their daily nutrition comes from meat and eggs. They will eat some nuts occasionally, some berries. When they go to a birthday party, they'll have a little piece of cake or donut because they're young and metabolically flexible. It's not a big deal. But our son Beckett, who's 4, now he knows if he goes to a birthday party, he'll eat a bite or two of the junk. But he's already had he's got such a clean system that he's already had the experience of eating too much cake or too many donuts at a birthday party or too many potato chips and then having squirty poop for 3 days. He already knows. He's already learned from his N equals 1 experiment. And so he'll have a little nibble of this and that, but he already self-regulates without us even saying anything to him because he's already messed up and had too much, and he knows what happens when he eats that. And so it's amazing to watch a 4-year-old human self-regulate, just like my sheep in the pasture. They'll eat a little clover, they'll eat a little of this, but they know not to eat too much of this out of the other. They know they need to eat certain things, even though they don't have a degree in nutrition, right? They don't have a bachelor's degree in anything, nor does he, but he's already learned enough about nutrition to self-regulate. He knows he eats best when he feels best when he eats only meat. He knows his gut health is best when he eats mainly meat. And so he's also learned I can have a few cashews, not a big deal. I can have a few blueberries, not a big deal. But he knows not to eat too much of any of the plant food because his best health, he already figured out at 4 years of age, is when he eats mostly meat.
Yeah, and I agree. I think my secret weapon is when they have birthdays, I load them up on meat beforehand so that when they go there, they're not hungry. And then when they're there, I don't like to hover over them and be like, don't have this and have that. I'll let them have whatever they want. And then I'll just be there when they're back home and feeling badly. And then they can't have much usually because they're full and because they immediately get a very big sugar high from it. But then I'm always there when they get when they start feeling bad after it, or after Halloween. Once when we were in the US for Halloween and they went out and they just had all kinds of awful stuff. And I just spent the next day saying, remember, this is what happens when you eat this stuff. And they'll get it. It's really simple. I mean, really, the secret weapon, as you said, is just not having a degree in nutrition. And then everything becomes very simple.
Yes. Fill up on fatty meat and everything else falls into place.
Absolutely. What about grains? Do you feed the kids grains? Do you think there's value there?
No. Neither of our kids have ever had any grains at all, except for the birthday cake that they might have eaten at a party or the donut they might have eaten at church. There are no grains in our house. The closest things to grains that we have are some nut flour crackers that they have as a treat occasionally. That's the closest thing to grains that's ever went into their mouth. And that's the way I'll keep it in this house until they're of the age of majority.
Yeah, that's a good way to go about it.